A sun beats down mercilessly on the parched fields of rural Korea, 1970s. The earth is cracked like a spider's web, and the wooden rice barrel stands empty, a silent witness to the drought's cruelty. A young child, their ribs faintly visible under thin clothing, stares at the barren container. Hunger gnaws at their belly, but their eyes hold a question. How will we survive this? The wind carries dust, but no promise of rain. In the dim light of their humble kitchen, the mother's calloused hands move with quiet determination. A dented pot sits over a low fire, its surface scratched from years of use. She measures out the last handfuls of rice, then adds barley, pearls of resilience to stretch the meal. The grains swirl in the water, a dance of necessity and love. The child watches from the doorway, their small fingers clutching the frame, wondering at this unfamiliar grain that will fill their belly tonight. Steam rises from the bowls like ghostly hands reaching for the ceiling. The family gathers around the low table, their faces lit by a single oil lamp. The barley rice is coarse, its bitterness lingering on the tongue, but they eat in silence, their forced smiles a fragile shield against despair. A single pickled radish, sliced thinly, is passed from one to another, a shared treasure. The child frowns at the unfamiliar taste, but catches their mother's gaze, where hope flickers like the lamplight. A knock at the door breaks the evening quiet. The neighbor, her own cheeks hollow from hunger, holds out a woven basket of wilted wild greens, her last offering. "For the pot," she murmurs, her voice as thin as the threadbare hem of her skirt. The mother's eyes glisten as she accepts the gift, hands trembling. The child watches, learning a lesson no school could teach. In poverty, generosity is the purest currency. Under the pale moonlight, the mother slips through the shadows of the night market. Her silver hairpin, a relic from her wedding day, glints in her palm as she approaches the grain merchant. The child hidden behind a cart watches as the pin changes hands, replaced by a small sack of barley. The merchant's face is unreadable, but the mother's shoulders sag with relief. The child bites their lip, tasting salt from unshed tears. Some sacrifices are silent, but heavy. The mother kneels by the hearth, her skilled hands roasting barley in an iron pan. The grains crackle like distant firecrackers, releasing a nutty aroma that fills the cramped kitchen. "Watch closely," she whispers, guiding the child's small hands to stir the grains. Their fingers, clumsy but eager, mimic her movements. This is more than cooking. It's a ritual of survival, a way to coax flavor from hardship. The child's frown fades as the scent wraps around them like a promise. At school, the child crouches in a corner, their barley lunch hidden in a torn cloth wrapping. Around them, classmates unpack boxes of white rice, their laughter sharp as knives. The child's stomach growls, but their cheeks burn hotter. Then a memory surfaces, their mother's voice soft but firm. "This barley kept us alive. Never be ashamed of survival." Fingers trembling, they'll unwrap the cloth and take a defiant bite. The taste is still bitter, but the shame begins to dissolve. When the rains finally come, they arrive with vengeance. Water drips through the patched roof, landing with a plink into bowls placed hastily on the floor. The family's precious barley stash turns soggy, grains floating like tiny ships in a storm. But then, laughter. The mother starts it, a giggle that grows into full-bodied mirth. The child joins in, their voices rising above the drumming rain. Disaster has struck, but in this moment, they are rich with something unnameable. The sound of joy drowns out the leaky roof. Months later, the fields that once lay barren now sway with abundance. The child, now taller and stronger, carries a basket brimming with barley and rice, their face lit by the afternoon sun. The mother waits at the edge of the field, her smile deeper than the cracks that once marred the earth. That evening, she mixes the grains again, but this time, her hands move with gratitude, not desperation. The pot bubbles with the sound of triumph, a melody of perseverance. Years later, in a kitchen that echoes the past but hums with modern life, the now-grown child stirs barley rice in the same dented pot. Their own child watches, just as they once did, curiosity knitting their brows. "Try it," the parent urges, offering a spoonful. The first bite is met with the same frown, then a thoughtful chew. History repeats, but this time, the bitterness is layered with meaning, a taste of legacy, of hope passed down like a cherished recipe.